Game Beard.
Let's build the easy build weapons for Junk Runners Skirmish. Now there's a lot to talk about. There's 4 different weapons. We have the autocannon, the sniper, EMP, and the missile pod. Here's the first 3, and it's the printout. So you want to print them out on cardstock. And then you also want to print out your easy build missile pods. You get 2 of them on one paper, so I already cut out some of my parts, but here's the other half. You can see the parts. You want to cut out all your parts, and then you want to build. Let's start with a sniper rifle. We want to cut out all the pieces. Here's the top. Now remember, these are easy builds, so they're flat. If you don't like that, just build the real thing. The 3-dimensional ones, they take a lot more time, but they do look better. Anyways, here it is. It's nice and flat, simplified. So we have the top. We have like just a reinforcement. This is, we'll probably start with this. And then we have some other parts. So I'm just going to move these off to the side. I'm going to move this off. Let's start with this reinforcement piece. We basically just want to fold this thing in half. So I shall do that. This is a long little piece though. Okay. There are those little tabs with a T, they need to bend out. That's what's going to glue to the bottom of my piece. Okay, I'm just going to fold them out using a ruler. Okay, here's my piece. Glued it together. Those little tabs are out. I'm going to add some glue to those tabs and glue them to the bottom of my flat sniper part. Ooh, a little too much. I'm going to add a little bit of glue along the line of this piece too. Yeah, okay. I'll have to wipe a lot of that glue away. The bigger tab goes in front. So, let's see. Yeah, you will be able to see it because it's white. I want this to be straight. I'll stick it there. Try to make this straight. Okay. Here you can see I've glued on that support. I mean, it kind of resembles the barrel from the side, but it's a support. Now, while this is drying, I need to glue a couple other parts. I'll do this one first. This one's just a tiny, it's like a stand, or it helps it stand up. So I'm going to fold it. I'm going to fold this small tab out. And then, so these are out, and then in the center I'm going to fold that down, and I'll glue that. Okay, well, out of focus, but it will be in focus when it's glued. Okay, so we have that piece. Now this one is similar, but it's double. So I'm going to fold it. I'm going to fold, let's see, I'm going to fold these tabs out, and I'm going to fold this in half. And I'm going to use, is it still focused here? And then I'm going to fold it in half right here. Looks like a T. Well, no, not a T. I guess like an I. Anyways, I'm going to glue it in the middle. Well, still gluing. Okay, I'm going to put that over here. I'm going to put those off to the side. I still haven't glued the base together. There we go. So this is the base plate. I've glued this together for other projects. This is the same as a 3D weapon build, but I'll just show you. So I've folded that in half. I'm going to glue this down. Press down. Okay. Now I need to fold down these gray tabs. These will insert into the back of my easy build loader. Okay, that's pretty good. All right. See that part? You'll make 3 of these. So this one's for the sniper, you'll make one for the autocannon, and you'll make one for the EMP gun. Okay. Now I need to glue this. So the bigger tabs will glue underneath, these will glue underneath the sniper. Sniper. Okay. This little support piece, this glues, oh, I had a mark for it. It goes right past, there's a black mark, so it goes right past that black mark on either side. I'm going to glue it, I'll just glue it on the other side. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue there. Okay. Straight. This is just to help keep it up. Yeah. I'm going to glue this part to, pardon me, I'm going to glue that part to the plate, the weapon plate. So I'm going to add a decent amount of glue here. This doesn't glue down, this little support, that doesn't glue down to anything. That just helps keep it straight up. Okay, so I'm gonna glue it down to my plate. I don't know if I can get you a good look. Is it straight? Yeah. So while this is drawing, I mean, these are okay. I mean, they're not as good as the 3D versions, but you know, if you needed a couple extras for a game, like a game build, like maybe you wanted to field a couple extra snipers, and you've only built 2 sniper, you know, guns, and you want like a 3rd or a 4th. Yeah, you can make a couple of these, play it, try it out. I mean, it's flat, but it is simple to build. Let me just show you how. I have a finished one here that's more dry. Oh, yeah, if only I can get it out. Okay, so here's my easy build loader. I have added a small cut on the edge of these plates, and with these tabs, they just go right in there. Believe it or not, these it's only 1 ply of cardstock, or 1 level of cardstock, I don't know. So it doesn't really go in as well as a regular loader, but there it is. You can see that little extra support kind of helping it stand up, and it looks pretty good. I mean, considering it's flat, but it is simple and easier to build, and it will work for a game. So that's the easy build sniper. Let's move on to another. We're going to do them all. Let's do the autocannon. The autocannon it simply just folds in half. It's really flat. Notice how I didn't cut out everything first. I cut out a lot of it, and I did cut around this little support right here because I want these to line up. I don't want to glue this to this, but I want them to line up. And then the rest I'm going to fold and just glue this whole thing, and then I'm going to trim both halves of the gun at the same time. I do have this fold line, and so that is what I want to do. I want to fold this on that fold line. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to glue yeah, and I don't want to glue it right here. I don't want my tabs to glue together. So I mean, I didn't add glue right here. There may still be a little bit of glue there, but like when it spreads out. So now I'm just going to cut out all the white. I have cut off all the excess. Oh, let me look on the back. Oh yeah, there's some extra white. I can trim that. Yeah, it didn't fold over perfectly. I'm just going to go for the easy cuts, but you would go, you would trim there. I'd try to cut this part with an X-Acto blade. I'm going to leave it for now though, just for the demonstration, but you want to trim off this extra white. Okay, now this tab needs to fold out. There's two of them, right? So let's see if I can, yeah, so this one, oh good. So they kind of separated, and I'm going to use my ruler to help me just get a good fold there, and here. I'm going to add some glue to the bottom of those tabs, and I'm simply going to glue this to one of my plates, weapon plates that I've already made. I made 3 of these, right? I'm just going to glue it right there. You don't want to cover up that. There's a yellow, well, there's a yellow dot. It kind of gets covered up. But not, you can, well, you won't be able to see. I'm not going to show it to you, but there's a yellow dot right in there. You want to make sure that you can still kind of see that for line of sight purposes and stuff like that. Okay, here's my autocannon. It's flat, but it looks okay. Again, this will just slide into these supports. So there we go. That's the easy build autocannon. Flat and simple. Okay, what's next? Let's do the EMP gun. So the EMP gun, let's see, here's a finished one. You still have to build this whole round part. It didn't look good flat at all. So here it is. You have to make this part, so let's make it. I'm going to start with this round, my dish, and I cut along those edges, right? But so it's touching those circles. I have my fold line. I'm going to fold this in half and glue it. Okay, I'm going to glue. The nice thing about the easy build weapons and the weapons in general is that they have, gray plates, weapon plates to attach to the loader. So you could borrow them from other factions and you just build a bunch of weapons and then swap them out as needed, because they take a while to build, but the nice thing is once you have a bunch of snipers and autocannons and all the weapons you need, once you have them all built, you don't really have to build them again. I mean, it's a lot of work to put them together the first time. But you only do it once, right? Okay, I'm going to let this glue for a second while we do the same thing with the smaller disc. Same thing, I cut real close to the edges. I'm going to fold along the center. What you could do with this is, once you have this cone made, and if you ever decide to build the 3D version of the EMP gun, then you can just kind of tear off this front cone and then just use it on your 3D version. That'll save you some time. If you build a couple of these flat ones, you just tear off the cone and add it to your new EMP. That would save you some time. I'm going to press this down. While we're at it, I'm going to fold all my parts. So here I have this is the body. Same thing, I trimmed real close to the edge, and I did cut around this folding support just on this side, so that way I know that they're lining up. I actually don't want to put glue underneath this tab because that's going to fold out, but I do want to add glue everywhere else. So I'm going to fold this in half and then I'm just going to glue it. Make sure those line up. Yep. Okay, I'm going to add some glue. I was careful not to really add much glue here, or zero glue, actually. I have a feeling though it might spread underneath, like when I press it down. But I left some space. Press down. It's funny, I'm shaking the camera. Oh, but it's shaking way worse. My camera, my little Sony camera, has nice image stabilization, so it's shaking even worse. You're like, Dave, you should set up your camera so it's not connected to your table. And I bet you have all kinds of suggestions for me. Thank you very much. Maybe in the future. So I glued this down. It looks good. This part, I believe, is not glued, so that will be great. I'm going to put this on the side to dry. Finally, I have these supports. So you'll have 3 of these. I'm going to, I'm not gonna fold this in half. I'm gonna cut it in half and then just glue them together. So I'm gonna cut this in half. This is for the EMP gun. This is the supports. There's 3 of these. This is support for the dish. I'm gonna add some glue. This is the same for the dish. It's the same build as the 3D version. Yeah, I got a lot of extra white here. I'm going to purposefully leave that white so I can trim it. This side. Okay. I have extra white because of that. Well, you can't see it. I'm going to trim it. I just glued it, but I want to fold on that line and that line. And I shall. Normally I'd want this to dry a little longer. Yeah, it's all... I don't know. The glue inside is buckling it. Okay. So you will build 3 of these. I just built 1. So go ahead and build all 3 of these. Okay, I'm going to put that off to the side. Okay, I believe this is ready to be trimmed, so I shall. Ooh, still feels like it could use some drying time, but it's dried enough. I'm going to trim off the white very carefully. Okay. Not bad on both sides. I want to trim this line. I'm going to trim right after that line. Okay. And then I'm going to add glue in here. Definitely on this line. You see what I'm doing? Yeah. And it's gonna form a cone. You really want to get it on that edge. Okay, I think I got it. Got a little right here. And I'm gonna fold it over, and you wanna overlap that other black line, and you're gonna hold it and pinch it. In fact, I'm gonna use the table to help me glue it. Press down. Okay. Oh, got a little bit of yucky glue on that. Okay. Okay, I probably should have held this longer, but you have this nice dish. Okay, like a cone, shallow cone. Okay, I'm gonna cut the white off of this around the edge. Okay. The center can be removed with a hole punch. It's general or standard hole punch size. Okay. I'm going to adjust my cuts a little here. Okay, good. Good enough. Okay. There's my piece. This is going to be, I'm going to use these supports, and they are going to glue to my disc in front. So I want to glue, there's a longer tab. I'm going to add some glue on the inside of that. And I'm going to put that in the top middle of my larger cone dish. What's the top, you ask? Well, the bottom is this red mark. So the top, actually, oh, I have a dot there. Oh, yeah, so this is all, oh, interesting. Yeah. Well, it's near that. Depending on where I did my cut, this might have ended up right on that little dot rivet, but this is totally fine. So that one's on top. And then the other. It's going to be on the halfway point. And that little, it's, yeah, I did this a little differently than in my other video. That's okay. This is actually okay. It kind of covers up that seam a little bit. Okay. So this is going to cover up that seam a little bit, but it didn't in my 3D build. It's because I cut my I cut the black line differently on this dish. It's okay. This actually, I like it because, like I said, it covers up some of this line. So I'm okay with that. Happy accident. Ooh. I got my third one. So here's the top because the red thing's on the bottom. And then this is just going to be, so I guess what is this? This is 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. That's where you put those. 12, 3, and 9. I'm going to make sure this bends in. I'm going to let that dry for a sec while this is what I have though. These are going to push in, and then I'm going to glue that that little disc on those. I'm going to let that dry off camera. I'm going to start cutting this thing out. When I cut this stuff, sometimes it's good to use a scissors for the basic cuts before I use X-Acto blades. So yeah, like right here I got a nice line I can just trim easily. I want to cut this. So, I mean, there's no wrong way. I mean, if I used an X-Acto blade for this, it would be fine. But sometimes, just for these big cuts, I can just use scissors. Okay. I'm gonna use the yeah. Nope. I'm gonna do it. Just don't want that to. Okay. Okay, so here's the piece. I checked both sides. I trimmed a little bit of white off the back. One thing you want to do is you want to trim off a little bit of this corner and a little bit of that corner so it's not just a perfect square. I mean, this is optional. I mean, it makes it look better. There's a tiny little line there. So I mean, that's pretty small detail. I want to fold. Oh, that's funny. Oh no, oh yeah. I wasn't supposed to add glue here, and I did. I glued it together. Let's see if I can break it apart. Well, these fold apart because I didn't have glue here. I'm going to use my ruler to help me fold that out a little better. I tricked myself. So I glued this together. Well, yeah, that's not going to come apart. So let's look at this thing. I mean, I can glue it on one side, but that's no good. I just know that's going to be problematic. Okay. Let's try to pry this apart. I'm going to fold it this way, hoping to loosen those pieces a little bit. I'm going to stick my X-Acto blade in there. Oh, I got it. See that? I don't know about that. That was too easy, because you may not have... Well, it's not perfect. I might be cutting into the paper. Yeah, and it didn't go all the way down. Well, that worked for me. It's not, I cut into the paper a little bit, or maybe not, I don't know, but it'll work. If you can't do this, you can always, well, you can always get this piece from the 3D build, do it, and then put it on. Or you could have just glued it on maybe to one side, like this, and then try to glue it like this. And that may or may not work. It might tilt to one side, but maybe that's okay. And then for your next one, because you're going to make more than one of these, aren't you? Remember to not add glue in this general area, and then spread it apart, or just try to do what I did. Yeah, I feel bad. I led you astray. I'm sure you'll forgive me. And if not, just print another. You don't want to do that, though. Okay, so this is going to... I usually do this last, but since I'm all thinking about this, I'm going to glue this on. So these two pieces, it just connects to the back here. I want to pinch it. So while that's drying, I'm going to add glue to these parts, and I'm going to glue on my circle. I'm only going to do one at a time, but I'm going to have that glue kind of ready. Okay. So here's my disc. I'm going to start by, so this is the top one. I'm just going to start by gluing that on. I'm going to pinch it. Okay. Then I'm going to move it down and do my next one. It's going to be same kind of position, right? So that's going to be what, 9 o'clock? My fingers are too big. Let's try that. Okay, I'm going to try to get a good pinch under there. You want to probably try to glue that longer than what I'm doing. I'm doing it pretty fast. Finally, I got my third one. Okay, 3 o'clock. Pinch. Okay. I don't think I held that long enough. Not bad, not bad. Now I need to glue this to the plate. I have my little tabs here. I'm going to add some glue there. And that's going to glue to my third weapon plate that I already built. Again, let's see, I want to make it, you want to make sure you don't completely cover over that little yellow dot at the front that you can't see right there. You want to be able to, I mean, I'm covering it a little bit, but you can still see about where it is. I'm going to press down here. And this one's a little heavier on the top, ooh, it might sag. My other one's not sagging. So you definitely want this thing to glue. You want that to glue really well before you start, because this is really like top heavy. Oh, I have mine mine's tilted upwards. The other one I made, here's the other one. It's more straightforward. These tabs will go into the back of your loader, So that's the EMP gun. Okay, we got one more gun to make. Well, not a gun, it's the missile pod. The missile pod is pretty straightforward. It's very similar to a box. We have 3 parts. Let's start with the doors. There's a fold right down the center here. So I'm going to fold that and then glue it. The missile pod, the 3D missile pod, is not terribly difficult to make. You may just want to make a regular 3D missile pod. It might take a little time, but then you don't you don't have to try to make a better one in the future. Although those other missile pods are they color match their team. These are more of a generic gray. So maybe these are good. I mean, for your first few games. Okay, so I glued this. I need to trim. There's like this little wavy, jagged line that I need to trim, but I'm going to let this glue a little bit first. I'm going to put that off to the side. Now I've got, this is the support, and I want to glue, oh, so I trimmed this, right? But when I trimmed it, let me show you. I trimmed along, I cut right on this line, right to here. So that way I can fold this piece underneath. Same over here. I cut here to here. So I can fold this piece underneath. And I'm going to start by doing that. So I folded those, and then I will glue them. I'll glue them underneath. I didn't wow, this one has a lot of extra white. Okay, well, I'll trim it. I didn't bother to trim this little half circle that's like white there, so I'll trim that now, but I do need to trim some of this extra white anyways. So I'll do that real quick. Because they fold down, that means they're going to fold up. Wow, that's complicated. No problem. So that's going to fold up. I want to fold these up before I fold this thing in half right here and glue it. Here you can start to see what I'm trying to get at. That's a shame I don't have gray on this side. You can paint, you just leave it white. Technically I could paint it, but no, I don't want to paint it. Because it's just going to go into the tab slot anyways. I mean, yeah, you might see a little bit of white. You can paint it. Like, Dave, you should print on both sides. No. I got so many suggestions for you, Dave. Thank you. That's great. Now I want to fold these arms up. I'm going to use this. Okay. So here's my, this is going to support my box, my missile pod box. Okay, well, I'm going to let this dry and leave it off to the side. Let's do the box first. So this is just a easy box to build. I have a fold here, tabs here, here, and here. Okay, I'm just going to fold them. Let's fold it all. Okay. And then I'm going to fold here. Okay. So here's my, and you can see it test fits. It doesn't have a bottom because it's the easy build, right? But you'll barely see that. So it's going to be like that. So I'm going to glue it real quick. Okay, so here you can see it's just my box. I glued these white tabs in. It's still drying. You can give it some time to dry. But now I want to glue the support. The support basically connects, it's going to glue right to those, there's like circles. I could glue it into like an upper firing position, although you can see underneath it. So maybe not that high, maybe a little bit, or maybe just like in a flat, in a straightaway version. I'm going to add glue to the inside of these tabs. But I'm still only going to glue one at a time. But I want that glue ready on the other side. Hopefully that's enough. Just going to make it straight away, and I'm going to pinch. Okay, now I'm going to get the other side. Let's see here. Okay, looks good. I'm going to pinch it. So for easy build, this may be enough, but I do have doors. So I'm going to glue those on, but here it is. So here's our missile pod. These tabs go into the back of your crab. Am I going to do this? Maybe. Did I get it? Yeah. All right. But on my other missile pod, I'm going to do the doors. So there it is. Okay, let's do the doors. I have some prep to do on the doors. These are optional. They'll look nice. You probably want to do this. There's a cut right down the middle. It's kind of like a teeth. So I want to very carefully cut those. When you do it, you want to cut your lines one at a time. Don't just kind of do it in one line, because it'll tear the paper, the graphics, tear the color. So I'm going to try to do these one at a time with an X-Acto blade. The problem is, because I'm doing one at a time, all of these lines may not be connecting very well. So I will have to find, where they're not connect. Oh wow, I was lucky. Okay, well, usually usually you have to go back in and, oh, did I get right there? Or and you have to cut it a little more. Anyways, I was crazily lucky. So here are my doors. This yellow part, that's a tab, and I want to fold. I want to fold that. So I'm going to fold it. Well, I could fold it. Yeah, I'll fold it up. So I'm going to use my ruler. Okay. Okay. Finally, there's a slight triangle there that you want to trim off. So I'm going to trim that off just for looks. And it's on this one too. There's like a little slight dashed line. You're going to trim that off. Well, I'm going to use my older missile pod. Maybe not. I'll use the one I just did. Let's see if this is going to fall apart. I didn't give it enough time to glue. So the MP would be on the right. I'm just going to just glue that on. These don't really open and close very well, so you probably want to get your angle of the door before you glue it on. So I'm going to add some glue. Not bad. I want to match that angle. That's not much of an angle. Add the glue. I didn't give it very much time to glue. It might fall off. I hope not. This was a long one, a long video. Too many little weapons. I want to squeeze them all in one video. I'm going to press this down. Yeah, that looks nice. That's worth it. You want to do this. I mean, yeah, that's easy to do. Or not. Just keep the box. It's nice though because this makes it not a total box. You want to camouflage the fact that it's just a box. But that's it. That is my missile pod. So we made all the easy build weapons. We did sniper rifle, autocannon, EMP gun, and the missile pod. These are simple to build, and this will hopefully get you in the game quicker to have fun. I want you to have fun. And I'm hoping that eventually you will, after playing a few games, if you like the game and you want to keep playing it, you will be enthusiastic to build those more difficult model guns and accessories. They're difficult because they're small, tiny parts, but once you get them done, you only have to build them once, right? Anyways, this is it for this video. Have fun playing the game.